I think Glenn is destroying music. He's doing all these tests about what gear sounds like. That is leading to the destruction of music. Asking people to make judgments based on the sound instead of what you see is horrible.
Somewhere that got lost in translation. What more do you need? Do you need a golden ticket? Do you need a written invitation? Good morning, everybody. How's it going? It is Friday. At least it should be Friday, July 19th. By the time this episode airs, I'm actually doing this Monday afternoon. Just want to kind of get ahead of the game. I got a couple of really big videos I want to work on over the next couple weeks and keep you guys entertained with some really cool stuff. In order to make that happen, though, I want to make sure you guys get taken care of. You there, sitting there, who keeps coming back week after week after week with your awesome comments and questions. Before we jump into it here, we're going to do my weekly pop culture recommendations. And this week, I'm going to recommend Season 2 of House of the Dragon. Things are getting awfully sticky for the Targaryen King. That's for sure. And for a book recommendation, What Does This Button Do by Bruce Dickinson. It's a wonderful biography and kind of lays out his whole journey through the whole music and Iron Maiden thing. It's pretty freaking cool. And if you have a chance, check out the audiobook because Bruce narrates it and it's fucking outstanding. All right, let's skip the rest of the bullshit and just get into it.
Lol, all the Harley Benton scrubs bad-mouthing a guitar they can't afford.
Wargasm54 apparently bought himself a Gibson. Well, hey, dude, congratulations, you bought something. Let us know if you ever write a song anybody wants to listen to more than once. That's the important part. Like, seriously, folks, we need to get over this whole thing. Worship me because I bought something expensive. This is a luxury item. This is not going to make me great at what I do. The only thing that's gonna do that is lots and lots and lots of time and practice. That's what it takes to get good at the artistic thing you want to do. I just got this to help me do my job faster. I'm certainly not going to sit here and look down my nose at anybody out there who's going through a Focusrite 2i2 or something small like that. What would be the point? I'm not going to go, hey, you're just jealous. I mean, seriously, what kind of a fucking weasel does something like that? Hey, Wargasm, if you're watching, could you please leave a comment below and explain to us what exactly you were thinking when you typed out that incredibly stupid statement? We'd all love to know. Thanks so much.
Why does Sabbath still feel as heavy as any new music? It's not drop tune and not as distorted as much. Why and how?
Quality songwriting.
Have you ever seen or played a Gibson that really impressed you? I'm genuinely curious, and greetings from Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, J-Dog, thanks so much. You know what? Back in the 80s, my guitar teacher brought in his Les Paul. It was like a 73 Les Paul or something like that. And it was one of the finest playing guitars I had ever laid my hands on. It was just simply magnificent. I remember that guitar fondly. It was really something else. It played so well. I don't think I've ever played a Les Paul that quite played as well as that one ever. So, yeah. And I do remember they did like a reissue in the early 2000s of like the 57 Flying V with the red body and the white pickguard and all that. And I remember that was pretty cool as well. I thought that was a really cool guitar. You know, when I got the Mustaine V, unfortunately, it just was not up to the quality that I'd come to grown accustomed to from Gibson. Hopefully, they've seen enough of my videos and step things up in the quality department. I mean, like, it's been a couple years. Maybe I'll buy another one at some point and see what we get. Stay tuned for that. Of course, you can help by dropping by on Monday Mix Reviews, leaving me a song to review, and making a donation. That would really go a long way to helping make that happen. Because I guarantee there is no way in hell Gibson is ever going to send me a guitar.
Okay, wait a second. You made Game Pass, but for IRs and stuff, and I haven't been using it? Silly me. Why would I use stuff that's actually useful? That would mean less time to tell people about my tone wood and magnets instead of my actual music. Aren't guitar players ridiculous? Makes me question why we give them so much limelight sometimes.
Well, because a lot of them are going to go, wheelie, and there's so many people go, oh, wow, that's so amazing. Or the guys are, oh, check this out. Look at how fast this musician can play. And it's like, yeah, great. Okay, here's the thing. Music's not an Olympic sport. It's supposed to write something somebody wants to listen to more than once rather than just go, yeah, that's an amazing physical feat. Somewhere that got lost in translation. Anyway, yes, we did make, I guess Game Pass would be somewhat of an analogy to what Prism is, for those of you guys wondering. That's a project I've been working on with the team over at Spectre Digital for the last couple of years, and it's very, 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 very close to version 1. It's still in pre-release right now, but that is basically load this thing up, and it's got IRs from all kinds of different manufacturers. It's got my new set in there as well, so if you want to get access to all the cabinets you've been hearing on the show as of late, guess what? They're in there. There's also an extremely large collection of vintage Marshall cabs that was done by Hoborex Studios that are absolutely fantastic. We've got all kinds of amazing stuff in there. And the great thing is it's only $10 a month. It's still not in version 1 yet. It's still a little bit buggy, but if you want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description below. It will definitely open up your guitar tone palette to an expanse that you have never seen before.
I have Prism 0.90 and run it without subscription. I primarily use it as an IR loader for my collection of samples. Thanks, Glenn. That Zillet Fat Boy freebie is killer go-to, and it's phenomenal for that alone. I can't wait to see the final version finally come through.
Yeah, neither can I. Glad you're still using it, man. Like I said, we're going to have all kinds of cool stuff coming up. And that's the thing. If you don't want to subscribe, we're going to make free IRs available to check out every single month as well. But right now, if you want to check it out, it's $10 a month. And like I said, we're going to be adding a lot of extra stuff over the next few months. It's definitely going to be a very interesting ride. Don't miss it. Links in the description below. Can't say enough things about it. This one really does deliver the goods. Of course, guys, that's all available through my company, Spectre Digital. That's how I get to fund Fearless Gear Reviews and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to up your guitar tone game, go check out Prism at Spectre Digital. Links in the description below. Now let's do the Butthurt of the Week.
So, as content creator with a fairly large platform for metal production, what are you doing to promote the good bands? Because the occasional name drop of a band who may or not still be together. I agree that this endless flood of new music is a bit too much to handle, but sometimes there is a killer band that you should really be bigger than they are as well. Well, YouTubers of the modern day headbangers ball or uranium. Feature bands, interview them about recording techniques, gear, songwriting, etc. It would break the monotony of your endless commercials, disguised as a tutorial, and you would be bringing a net positive to the metal community. Just a thought.
Hey Travis, have you not checked out my show on Mondays? Monday Mix Review? Every week I make what's called the Bangers List. And those are my recommended tracks from independent artists you should be checking out. It's where we found cool people like Cletus Christ and Juicebox Desmond. Guys who can really fucking sing and really write cool fucking songs. We've got all kinds of awesome stuff there. That's where we found Blackwood. Yeah, there's some really great stuff here. The problem with doing what you're discussing is if I did that show, every single episode would be demonetized. I can't play third-party music without all the money being taken by the record labels, and you've got the record labels to thank for that. I would love to do more like that, but it's just not possible with the current landscape because the record companies have their noses so far up YouTube's asses, they just bend over anytime they say, he used something, I want all that money. And it's not like the record companies did all the work to make the video and bring it to all these people. No, but they get all the money, not just a little bit. So do me a favor, let me know when you come up with a solution for that problem, and I will be more than happy to implement your solutions. Thank you.
Post links to some of your work.
Watch any episode where I review a speaker or an amp or a mic. They're literally my mixes right there. What more do you need? Do you need a golden ticket? Do you need a written invitation? Do you need a red carpet? Open your fucking eyes, man! You guys wonder why I scream about musicians being dumb.
Hey Glenn, do you have any tips for metal bands on their first tour in USA or North America in general?
Yes, if you're touring through Canada, make sure you budget twice as much for gas as you did in the States. Now, I heard this from Sarah Longfield. She was telling me some stories about touring in Canada. Big problem with touring in Canada is the cities are way further apart. You're going to be spending that much more time on the road and that much more on gasoline. So you better make sure you've got the budget and you're charging appropriately because it's a lot more money to tour in Canada than it is in the States. And if you're going to cross the border, make damn sure you have the right paperwork. Do not fuck around here because the U.S. border guards do not fuck around. I've heard, I don't know how many stories of bands, getting detained at the border for hours and hours and hours on end because they did not do their paperwork. Gotta remember, guys, this is a business. It's a fun business, but it is a business. You have to do your homework, and if you don't, you will suffer. You can't cross a federal border and think they're just gonna be, oh, okay, no problem, because it just does not work that way. As for touring in the States, just be disciplined. Don't party too much. Don't get wasted on stage. Get your shit on stage, do the show, and then get the fuck off stage. Don't linger. Be professional, and then move on to the next gig. And always, 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 always give your best performance, no matter how big or how small that audience is. Good luck, man.
Glad you bought one Gibson and you're using it to trash a whole brand. Did you try calling Gibson? They'll make it right, in fact, if it was their fault. It's a long way from Nashville to wherever you are in Canada. The guitar paths are a lot of hands on the way. Maybe buy another, maybe try buying a custom shop. Gibson USA guitars are your run-of-the-mill production guitars. If you want the legendary Gibsons today, you have to buy a custom shop. I own Gibson custom shop guitars, and they are beautiful.
And for the prices they're asking for a custom shop guitar, they'd better be beautiful. But seriously, man, I gotta ask you a simple question. Are you out of your fucking mind? Buy a custom shop, pay that kind of money, when I could easily get An awesome made in Canada vicious custom like this for like $3,000. What's a custom shop Gibson gonna cost you? $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000? I was looking at the Faulkner guitar. It was like $10,000 or something insane like that. There's no way in hell I'm gonna pay that kind of money for a custom guitar. Not when we've got options like this. Or this. This is that Lambo reclaimed wood guitar. This is made from 300-year-old wood from the Czech Republic. This guitar is like $1,100. Why would I buy a Gibson when I could get one of these that's going to be completely unique and really fucking cool? If you're a fan of the classic Gibsons, that's absolutely fine. And if you want to spend that kind of money on a custom shop Gibson, again, your choice. The point of this show is to show people that there are options and alternatives to spending that kind of money where you can still get amazing, super high quality guitars and you're not going to have to pay Gibson custom shop prices. This isn't 1975 anymore.
Hi Glenn, I'm a bass player. Insert joke here.
What do you do for a drowning bass player? Throw him an anvil.
My band uses in-ear monitoring, and I'm not very happy with my monitor sound lately. I go out of the DI to my amp, mostly used without a cab since there's a load built in to the FOH. I'm pretty sure some kind of cab IR would fix the problem, but what your opinion as a sound engineer having done live sound in the past?
I actually don't do a lot of live sound because most Windsor bands are just too cheap to pay for a sound guy, but have no problem complaining about their sound quality at the gigs.
Would you prefer a dry bass signal to FOH that you can blend however you like, or a signal is already ran through a cab IR? I think it's totally possible that I'm way overthinking this and just play more and worry less about gear and tone, as we all should, I guess. Thanks, and for your time and greetings from Berlin.
Well, you could try a couple things. You bring a laptop along, run your bass through that, and run Element Bass and get yourself an awesome tone going to your in-ears, no problem at all. I mean, like, if I was gonna do front of house, yeah, I would probably take a direct from the bass because once it goes through the speakers, it's gonna be fucking great. But there is a very good chance what you're hearing in your in-ears is pretty shit. So yeah, maybe a cab IR might be the way to go. Doesn't hurt to try. I mean, like, the technology available today certainly isn't gonna cost you a lot of money to give that a shot. But in the meantime, check out Element Bass, links in the description below.
Is there any particular reason why I couldn't just take the line from my FX loop, send it straight to my DAW and add an IR? What's the difference between that and using a load box, etc.?
Hey Dylan, that's actually a really good question. You can absolutely do that, that's fine, but if you're running a tube amp, you're still gonna need to run it to a speaker because you need to put a load across that power section, otherwise you could wind up frying your amp. That's why the load box was created, to mimic what a speaker cabinet does, so it pushes back against the amp and it doesn't overload. But then you can still crank the amp up and get that pushback and the power tube saturation. That's something you are not going to get if you come straight out of the effects loop. It really does come down to your personal taste. However, if you want to try this might work just as well. If you go grab yourself a copy of Prism, available now at Spectre Digital, we actually have a power tube section there. So you literally could do that. You could come out of your effects loop without a load box, just run it into your speaker. Once again, don't fry your amp. Put that speaker into another room or something like that so you're not, killing your hearing or whatever. And then you can run it through Prism's virtual power amp section and get the coloration that way. You can try that and see how that works. Once again, it's only $10 a month. Links in the description below.
Hey Glenn, love the work you do and the channel. You've got a lot of videos just demystifying what it takes for a great guitar tone, but I'd love to hear what you think makes the most difference when recording bass. And hey, as an incentive, you may only need to explain it once. Many thanks, Ren.
There's a couple of real fundamental things a lot of bass players forget when it comes to recording bass. Number one is knowing the song and being able to perform it front to back without having to stop. That's the first thing to getting a great bass tone. Second thing is new fucking strings. That's incredibly important. It's the easiest way to get a great bass tone. New fucking strings. Number three is to make sure you mute the strings that are not playing. So if you're up high here, make sure your E string's not flapping in the breeze. That's a huge thing a lot of bass players miss, usually because they've got really shitty rigs and nobody can hear them at band practice. And then when they come into the studio and it's under a microscope, everybody realizes, wow, this really sounds bad. So playing with precision's a huge thing as well. And then finally, get yourself a copy of Element Bass for the ultimate bass tone because you can just dial it in with 3 different stages and it sounds absolutely incredible. In fact, they can get you a mix like this. Once again, that's available at Spectre Digital. Links in the description below.
I saw a URM video yesterday about 5 minutes to the tightest metal guitars. There are one weird trick. 1, record the song at a slower BPM, okay. Then 2, splice and shift each individual pick stroke in the entire song back to fit the original desired tempo one at a time. Easy!
Boy, I can't wait to shell out my hard-earned money for that record. It's going to be simply awesome. Oh... I love the URM guys, but I mean, come on, seriously. I ask anybody watching the show, would you pay money for a record made like that? Seriously? Do you think that's worth any kind of money at all? Because I fucking don't. fuck's sakes.
Nice video, Glenn. I think this concept of less is more has been talked about many times in YouTube, but no one's really showed how to actually make a more minimalist approach to mixing, like using a console instead of the box. A video showcasing how to emulate this mixing style in digital would be a great follow-up to this and much appreciated.
That's actually a really good idea. I might try that. I'll probably wind up using some SSL plugins for that to make it happen, but I don't see a problem with that. We can definitely make that work one way or another. Stay tuned. I'll let you guys know when that drops, because I'm really happy with the way I'm getting mixes done on the board right now. That might work really well in digital instead of overthinking everything and playing the line the spikes up on a grid game, because that game sucks.
You of all people should know a vintage trainer YBA1 head is an excellent, inexpensive point-to-point wired alternative to a vintage Marshall Plexi. $400 to $700 for the real deal.
Yeah, Billy, I've still got my 67 trainer downstairs. It's still got the original Phillips tubes in it. The only mod, I've made 2 mods to it. I put a grounding cable on it, which was a big plus. That way when you're playing it, you go to sing into a microphone plugged into a modern PA, you don't get grounding across your lips. That was a painful lesson we learned in the 90s, that's for sure. And I did have a master volume mod put on it. I did do a video on it about 5-6 years ago. I should probably pull it out and do another video on it as well. Maybe shoot it out against the vintage Marshall Plexi too. But yeah, there are literally hundreds and thousands of those vintage trainers kicking around on the market. They are freaking amazing. Definitely worth taking a look at. I should really pull that out and try running it into my vintage blackback, see what kind of a tone we can get there. Ooh, look at what came. Eventide Omnipressor. This is going to be fun. Fucking love the Eventide guys. Those guys are absolutely amazing. Ooh, definitely can't wait to check that one out. That's going to be cool. I'm seriously running out of rack space in here though. Ugh. All right, that was the last question for this week. Thanks everybody for writing in. Sorry to those guys who missed out on the Spectre Digital SummerSlam Super Sale. That thing was absolutely amazing. But we still got everything available in the description below from Spectre Digital. It's definitely worth checking out. Anyway, yeah, if you haven't checked out Game of Thrones this week, please make sure you do. And as always, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. Over half the people watching this show aren't actually subscribed. And if you'd hit the button, it would really go a very long way into helping me make a better show for you. And if you're sitting there asking, Glenn, what's in it for me? Why should I subscribe? Well, when I hit 300,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away my Rev Generator Mark III to one of you lucky bastards. We're going to be doing a contest for it. I'm going to have an announcement in the next week or two. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. I think we'll start judging sometime in the fall. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great way to spend your summer. Stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for today. Now, fuck off! That would mean less time to tell people... Silly me, that would... And I'll be more than happy to... So do me a favor and let me know when you come up on a classic, and if you want to spend your money on a custom shop, let's play it, like,